All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome to today's session on Roshan Digital and Roshan Equity Account with Pakistan Stock Exchange, assisted with UBL and JS Investments. I would like to thank Pakistan Business Professional Council of Abu Dhabi for actually bringing this together for the Pakistanis there. Dr. Kesser Anisa. First, I'll introduce all our panelists and speakers. So we'll begin with Dr. S. Kesser Anisa. He's the president of Pakistan Business Professional Council, Abu Dhabi. He has more than 44 years of experience as a financial consultant and public accountant, and is consistently building and directing a highly dynamic team and advising local and international companies. He's a prominent and sought-after voice in accounting, auditing, and consulting services. He started his career at PricewaterhouseCoopers, A.F. Ferguson's and Company in Karachi, Pakistan for about 6 years. Thereafter moved to KPMG, UAE as manager for 2 years. In 1976, he established both Elliott Management Consulting and Elliott Hadi Shahid Chartered Accountants in the UAE as a managing director and a partner, respectively. Elliott Global, having 185 plus firms in 80 countries. With these resources, your firm can provide services for clients relating to legal, finance, and tax. Dr. Kesser is the founding president, Pakistan Business Professional Council, Abu Dhabi from 2004 to 8. And currently he is the president, which actively works with Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce and Industries and other Abu Dhabi government offices. He's actively promoting the Roshan Digital Account since it's launched. And he is a promoter to invest in Pakistan through the stock exchange as well as the Roshan Digital Account. He constantly interacts with the Pakistan Chamber and other Pakistan government entities for the benefit of the overseas Pakistanis. We have here with us from UBL, Mr. Muhammad Asad Abdal. Asad Abdal has a diversified 1 years in various leading FIs, including Citibank, Standard Chartered, and Union Bank. He joined the digital banking team in October 2022 after 9 years. Earlier, he was part of UBL Omni and looked into various rollouts during his tenure. In his time away from UBL, Asad was the head of product and brand management in the First Microfinance Bank. In his last role, he served as the head of marketing and sales and in Institute of Bankers, Pakistan. And we also have with us Mohammad Shuja Qureshi, who has a background in the media as well, whilst he's been a financial player as well. Shuja is currently working with JS Global Capital Limited as senior manager. He started his career working for a stock brokerage house and later ventured into media. After working as a program host for Indus News, Business Plus, CNBC Pakistan, and Geo News, he became a freelance to Dunya TV, Geo TV, and Jag TV. Shuja has interviewed many politicians, top government officials, ambassadors, heads of the World Bank and IMF in Pakistan, leading businessmen and professionals, and many other dignitaries. He's now back into the brokerage business, and apart from sales, he's also actively demonstrating his media experience on JS Global social media platform. So I would begin with requesting Kesser Anisa to please take the stage and brief us, give us a little opening. Thank you, Kesser sir. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Raida Latif Saiba, for your introduction. I really appreciate this. And also together, the Pakistan Stock Exchange is playing a vital role after the establishment, and in the recent past year, after merging with the Lahore Stock Exchange, Islamabad Stock Exchange, and Karachi Stock Exchange, it is more powerful than before. And we all Pakistani and overseas Pakistan look on you. Assalamu alaikum to all the participants. Welcome to the webinar on Roshan Equity Investment Account with the Pakistan Stock Exchange in collaboration with JS Global Limited and United Bank Limited, UBL, a leading bank of Pakistan. I would like to thank and welcome our specialist speakers Mr. Mohammad Shuja Qureshi, Senior Manager Equity Sales, GS Global Capital Limited, which is known organization. And of course, Mr. Muhammad Asad Abdal, Portfolio Manager, RDA UBL. He has a great background and great understanding. We will learn a lot from him. Our moderator, Ms. Raida Latif Saiba, with the Chief Marketing Officer, Pakistan Exchange, promoting Pakistan Stock Exchange. And at the end of this webinar, the participant will learn about the investment opportunities in Pakistan stock market while living abroad and how to repatriate your capital profit and dividends in US dollar. This is a very important point, that you get money in US dollar. That is what the State Bank and SCCP has done for us, and we are very thankful to them. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Pakistan Stock Exchange, Dr. Shamshad Akhtar. I have few meetings, I know her, very enterprising. She's the chairperson of the exchange. And Mr. Farooq Khan, CEO, we work hand to hand here, and the team of Pakistan Stock Exchange for the support and cooperation for this webinar series, which we have done many with them. This is a webinar series in line with promoting the Roshan Digital Account and investing in Pakistan Stock Exchange, where you have good potential. Pakistan Business Professional Council Abu Dhabi is working with Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce in the industry since 2004 and actively interacting with Abu Dhabi government entities as well as Pakistan Chamber and Pakistan government entities. This is an important platform available for the members and to all the community for serving Pakistan and connecting with the professional and the community. We go beyond UAE, and we have membership beyond UAE also, and from Pakistan also. They work hand to hand to promote their institution to overseas Pakistan, which is 10 million people living there. They are assets for the Pakistan, and they are always supporting. With the council platform, we have done numerous informative webinars, especially on Roshan Digital Account in collaboration with the State Bank of Pakistan, Stock Exchange and Central Depository Company, and SCCP, which is most important organization, and all major banks of Pakistan. Pakistan Tourism in collaboration with the Pakistan Tourism Development, and also in Pakistan, we are promoting tourism also, which promote Pakistan and soft image of Pakistan. Roshan Digital Account, this will enable overseas Pakistani to invest and in various instruments, including stock shares. As of August 2022, the key status for RDA is we are in Pakistani in 175 countries open the account. Imagine 175 countries. Account opened nearly 456,732, and fund received is nearly 5 billion, is around $5 billion US dollar. In this webinar, the speaker will elaborate on how investor can access the Pakistan Stock Exchange and invest through Roshan Equity Account. This is again, thank you for joining and thank you for participating. You certainly will be more knowledgeable after this. The participant overseas Pakistan, this is the opportunity for us to invest while we can hear, and you get your return in dollars.
Thank you. Thank you, Kaisar Saab. Thank you, Kaisar Saab. Roshan Digital Account is definitely a great initiative of the government of Pakistan in formalizing the access for Pakistanis into various investment avenues within the country. Through the Roshan Digital Account, the banks give you access to not only build your wealth in the country, aside from the fact that you can also invest, you can build your wealth, you can buy a home, invest in a car, or even do your philanthropic activities. So this is up till now, before RDA was launched or initiated, people in Pakistan were still connected, were still accessing, but through their friends, through their family members, or they would have to keep traveling back due to their banking biometric or some signature or something. But with Roshan digital account, all that is now behind us. We can now access Pakistan, be invested in Pakistan's economy directly or indirectly through the Roshan digital account. As a culture, no matter where we live, Pakistanis are connected to their homeland. We have family members, we have friends. Many people desire to come back also, whilst others build their wealth in the country they're living, but they still have investments going on in the country, in Pakistan. So for wealth building, Pakistan is an area that is a country people look to, especially when you're away from home. So with that, I will invite Mr. Mohammad Asad Abdal to please brief us all on how all non-resident Pakistanis can access and open their RD accounts, and what all they can do, how they can repatriate their money, and what kind of benefits they can avail. Over to you, Asad Abdal.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you very much for having me over and presenting UBL's proposition under the Roshan digital account. For everyone that is tuned into this webinar, so Roshan digital account was basically an initiative of the State Bank of Pakistan to promote formal remittances into the country. And for the very first time, the agenda was not just to promote remittances, but also to create investment opportunities for Pakistanis who have been living abroad, wherein they have spent their lifetime in savings while working and investing and doing business abroad, and they want opportunities to invest into lucrative returns back home, that is here in Pakistan, or maybe look into buying a house over here or buying a car over here for their loved ones, which has always been a very major challenge. So keeping that in mind, the Roshan digital account proposition was structured by the State Bank of Pakistan to facilitate non-resident Pakistanis living abroad into accessing not just investment services, as I said, but also to access lifestyle products, basically, that can be of value to them over here or their families over here in Pakistan. If I could actually have screen sharing rights, I would like to actually present the Roshan digital account. There's a small presentation that I can brief on. Yeah, can you see my screen, please? Is the presentation visible?
Yeah, it's fine. Asasa, I can see clear.
Yeah, all right.
The building of the United Bank.
Thank you very much, Kaisa. Thank you very much.
Building.
Gee, this is one of the most beautiful structures on IH Chandigarh Road, which is basically the financial hub of the country.
I love it.
All right. So just to give you a little understanding of basically what the proposition is all about. So Roshan digital account was basically structured to enable an approximate 9 million non-resident Pakistanis who are basically living abroad with a very self-service and seamless digital onboarding, investments and lifetime payments and savings experience. The whole idea behind the proposition was for non-resident Pakistanis to connect to the financial services as are available to resident Pakistanis very seamlessly and digitally without the need for them to actually visit a branch and submit lengthy documentation, which has always been the case in the earlier iterations of NRP banking, non-resident Pakistani banking. As Kaisar Sahab rightly pointed out, the success of Roshan Digital Account can simply be gauged out by the immense magnitude of growth that the product has achieved over time. So effectively, from the date of its inception, and since last year, we have had a phenomenal amount of people opening up accounts as well as sending in remittances for various purposes in their Roshan Digital Account. On the note of features, the account basically offers seamless digital onboarding. So any non-resident Pakistani living abroad can simply go onto the internet using his mobile phone or his laptop and actually access an online account opening form via which he can seamlessly submit an application for opening up a Roshan Digital account. The whole experience is completely digital, when all documentation required from the customer for account opening, which is a requirement as per international law and regulation to complete the KYC and AML requirements as are dictated, and to which State Bank also is a member of, and very clearly denotes for all account holders. However, for Roshan Digital account holders, this whole requirement has been simplified in the context that now earlier, while customers had to actually visit embassies and local entities for getting their documents certified, such a requirement now no longer exists. So the customer can seamlessly scan and basically upload their documentation on this account opening form, and in a matter, depending upon the completeness of the documentation, his account can be active for business within 24 hours. The account it can be opened up in various iterations. It can be opened up individually or as a joint account. It can be opened up as a savings or a current account. And of course, since UBL has its own Islamic banking brand under UBL Amin, this option of maintaining even a conventional or Islamic account is also available for all account holders. The currencies that are supportive for under the Roshan Digital account that UBL specifically provides for its account holders is US dollars, the euro, the pound, the UAE dirham, the Saudi Riyal, and the Australian dollar. As far as additional features of the account opening is concerned, UBL provides its customers and is basically in the process of enhancing its services throughout its product development and service refinement stage. As of right now, customers can easily and seamlessly do currency conversions. For example, if a customer wants to maintain a US dollar and a PKR account, that is very much possible, and he can transfer funds between both these accounts or to any person within the bank or outside the bank very seamlessly. Each RE account holder is basically provided with a debit card. This debit card facility is currently available for PKR accounts only, and inshallah UBL will be launching the foreign currency debit card in the near future. This debit card is basically delivered to the international address as per the customer's disclosure. At the time of account opening, the customer is required to provide a mailing address on which this debit card is made available. So if a debit card is not available to foreign currency account holders right now, UBL works to provide a checkbook for both PKR as well as foreign currency account holders. And like the debit card, this checkbook is also delivered to the account holders on their international address. Perhaps one of the biggest points of attraction for Roshan digital account holders is for them to be is the functionality that enables them to actually call back their funds back to their home country as and when they like. So, for example, that if you actually send money to your Roshan digital account and invest into the Naya Pakistan certificate, which basically guarantees a healthy amount of returns, the customer has the option to actually, at the time of maturity of those certificates, to be able, and when these certificates mature, their principal as well as their profits are basically put back into the Roshan digital account. And on such an instance, the customer has the option of calling back their funds, repatriating their funds from their Roshan digital account very seamlessly. This is an experience that is made available on UBL's mobile application as well as on net banking, whereby customers can simply put up a request to repatriate whatever amount of money that is available in their account, wholly or partially, back into their home country by providing details of where the funds are to be remitted. The eligibility criteria is eligibility criteria of the Roshan digital account is very simple. Individual resident Pakistanis having CNICs, NICs, or NICOPs, foreign nationals having Pakistan origin cards, and as well as resident Pakistanis who have declared foreign assets in their wealth statement are also allowed to open up an RD account. As far as documentation are concerned, as I said, all documentation that are to be provided is to be provided digitally. Scans of income documents, passport scans, as well as scans of identity documents are required at the time of account opening. Income proofs at the time of account opening, a live photograph of the customer is also required. So the customer has to ensure that at the time of account opening, the device that they are using must actually contain a webcam or a front-facing camera if they're attempting to open an account from a mobile phone. Similarly, the signatures of the customer are also scanned. The customer is required to put up their signatures that they want to maintain with the bank for authorizing transactions as and when required, or instructions as and when required. And this signature scan is all that is required for them to provide at the time of account opening. UBL provides a very seamless experience of account opening. What I will show you is a very small video that is available on all of its social media platforms that gives precise guidance on how a Roshan digital account is to be operated. This demonstration video is also available on our social media platforms, as well as on the product page of the account opening of the product, so that the customer has no issues when opening an account, and he is provided guidance as guidance in the form of a walkthrough, so as to be able to open their account very seamlessly. I will move forward so that I can cover the rest of the presentation. As far as investment options are concerned, investments from customer's perspective, the Roshan digital account allows a varied amount of investments that guarantee different returns over time. This has been done by the State Bank of Pakistan to give the customer the option to be able to invest their money and earn out of those investments as per their own risk appetite. For customers who want to actually earn a fixed return, customers can invest into the Naya Pakistan certificate, which is available both in the form of Islamic as well as conventional variants. Customers can also invest into mutual funds by accessing UBL Fund Manager services, which is available online through net banking, whereby each fund as well as its risk profile is adequately disclosed to each customer so that he or she is completely aware of the amount of return as well as the risk involved in putting up money into a particular fund at the time of investment. Investment in real estate, customers can actually invest from the Roshan digital account into the Defense Housing Authority, which is available in Islamabad, Karachi, Multan, and Quetta. Investments in stock exchange, which basically remains as one of the most lucrative options, for which now a separate product offering under the brand name of Roshan Equity Investment has been added into the account. The stock exchange, I would leave that to the JS bank officials to give you an idea of how this investment can guarantee high returns to the people who opt for it. As I said, the Naya Pakistan certificate is perhaps one of the most lucrative investment options available in the Roshan digital account. A digital certificate is provided to each account holder. If required, a Sharia compliant version is available. No tax filing is required. Only a flat 10% withholding tax deduction is basically deducted charged on the profit from the investment that is made. The certificate can be basically accessed for different tenors with a minimum 3 months to a maximum 5 years, and with an attractive rate of return. And the funds that are basically invested into the Naya Pakistan certificate, like the Roshan digital account, are completely and fully repatriable. These are basically the returns that are basically will give you an idea on what a customer can actually earn across different tenors when they invest into Naya Pakistan certificates. I believe there is also an update that has been made to these funds in the conventional side. This is basically the older rates, and we are due to receive the updated versions also on the Islamic variants. In addition to this, State Bank has also now lowered the minimum amount of money that can be invested into different tenors and different currencies, which can enable even small savers to actually invest into the Naya Pakistan certificate very seamlessly. As far as investment into Pakistan stock exchange is concerned, through UBL net banking or through the mobile application of United Bank Limited, customers can very seamlessly open up a CDC account via which they can actually then go on to invest into Pakistan's stock exchange. Funds that are basically invested into Pakistan stock exchange can be monitored by the customer using CDC's own portal, as well as the portal of the brokerage houses that he or she opts at the time of making that investment. Secondarily, the dividends or the returns are basically recredited back into the Roshan digital account, and at the time of liquidation, whatever principal and profit that is basically earned is repatriated, is redeposited back very simply and very seamlessly back into the Roshan digital account, and can be, as in the case of the Naya Pakistan certificate, fully repatriated as and when the customer likes and into an account abroad as per his or her choosing. Payments. The Roshan digital accounts provides the complete set of payments as are available to every customer using its using UBL's net banking and mobile application platform. UBL and its mobile application and net banking platform and the digital services that are hosted on these platforms have gained UBL, and the services and the stability and the transparency that is maintained on these platforms have given UBL has been recognized on repeatedly for the past couple of years, and has actually given UBL the title of being the best digital bank in Pakistan. This has been done by both local as well as international entities. And for Roshan Digital Account Services, UBL carries forward that same experience to provide customers the option of making online payments, made the utility bill payments, or acquiring mobile airtime, or making zakat donations or qurbani payments, doing online shopping, or doing seamless funds transfers, either within the same currency or through currency conversions as and when they like, within the bank as well as outside the bank. Outside the bank. Roshan Samaji Khidmat is basically the donations and zakat platform specifically for the Roshan Digital Account customers and organizations supported under this platform can receive funds directly directly from the Roshan Digital Account as and when the customer makes donations to them, either at the time of the first of Ramzan, when zakat donations are basically made across the country, or a donation drive, as in the case of the PM flood relief program, as is being run right now, which is also hosted under Roshan Samaji Khidmat. Under Roshan Samaji Khidmat, and these funds can be moved into these avenues as and when the customer requires. Roshan Digital Account also provides access to very affordable as well as very seamless auto financing facilities. The customer can actually opt to get a car finance for their loved ones. In the scenario where a customer is basically living abroad, earning abroad, and has family back home, he or she can actually get a car finance for his family via the Roshan Digital Account, under which the customer can also gain access to priority delivery of the vehicle under the Roshan Apni Car program. Similarly, the customer can also access Roshan Apna Ghar, which enables the Roshan Digital Account holder to have a home constructed back over here in Pakistan, either for the sake of investment or for the sake of his family. This is a completely seamless experience whereby the customer is required to provide documentation on the online portal, as well as a dedicated team of relationship managers basically provide customers step-by-step guidance on what documentation to provide and how and what and where is the status of his application, so that the customer can seamlessly complete the process of the loan application, the mortgage loan application. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, or if there's anything else that is required, I would be more than happy to provide answers to the same.
Thank you, Asad Abdar. We will now request, I'll take the questions in the end, so all our listeners could type out their questions in the Q&A or the chat section, and I'll take all those questions and address them. Now we move to Mohammad Shuja Qureshi. We will request him to talk about the Roshan Equity Investment Account, which is the offering within RDA for the stock investments. Pakistan Stock Exchange has been offering competitive returns to investors over many years. In the longer term as well, when compared to the regional markets, Pakistan's KSE 100 index stocks offered highest dividend yields vis-a-vis our neighboring countries. The price to earnings ratios of the stocks on PSX KSE 100 are also at an attractive point as compared to our neighbors. In 2020, PSX was the best performing market in Asia and one of the top 5 markets in the world. Leading from here, I would hand over to Shuja Qureshi to brief us on a little bit about JS Global, then how Roshan Equity can be helpful to our non-resident Pakistanis to access the market and how they should build their portfolios. Over to Shuja.
Okay, thank you, Raida, and thank you, Dr. Kaisar, for giving us the opportunity to apprise your members about the Roshan digital account and how they can invest in the stock market through RDA. I'll just take a step back and go to the first step, which is, of course, opening your Roshan digital account with any of the banks. And Asad Saab in his presentation just mentioned also. I saw one category in one of the slides, it was mentioned category of account, and that is very important, was conventional and Islamic. So if anybody wishes to invest in the stock market, they have to decide, because there are a lot of people who only want to invest in Sharia compliant stocks. So at that point, they have to decide whether they want to open a conventional account or an Islamic account. Because if you choose Islamic account, the system will automatically restrict you to buying only stocks that are Sharia compliant. So that is very important. And if there are any questions on it, we will be happy to answer those in the Q&A section. So once you choose if you want to open a conventional account or an Islamic account, from there on, for us, for a broker, things are very simple. As Abdullah pointed out, you will choose the investment option, and your data will be shared with CDC, and CDC will open an account with them. Once the CDC account is open and the investor has selected the broker, there's a list of brokers at the CDC website. When you open the account, you choose your broker. The data is pushed to that broker. And the data that Asata mentioned, it's your name, your credentials, basically, and then we open account at our end. So what we have done at JS is we have a very robust system of account opening. As soon as the data is pushed to us from CDC, an auto email goes to the client with the login ID and password and details of the account. Now, one thing is very interesting is that the email goes out, but the account is not active. It takes about 24 hours because what happens is that the CDC refreshes the data every morning before the market opens. So even if you're getting a client's data at 5 o'clock in the evening or 6 o'clock in the evening, that's when our office is closed. So then what happens is the next day, our back office enters the entire data into our system, and then the next day the account is active. So just bear this in mind that you will receive the login ID and password, and what you can do is it has a link to our website where you can go and download our trading software, and it also has a link where you can go and download our trading application as well. Our trading application is available for both Android and iPhone, and I'll share the screenshot for those as well. Now, please also keep in mind that your funds and the shares will be held with the CDC, and we as brokers just act as brokers. So since I've been handling Roshan digital accounts ever since they started last year, there have been many queries about it that people after the market closes, they are checking their status, whether their funds are available and which stocks will they have, and they go to our system and they don't find anything, and then they send us an email that I can't see my funds, I can't see my shares. So what happens at the end of the day is that like the data is again it goes to CDC, and like Asad also mentioned, you can check that from CDC portal. CDC Access is one place where when you open your account with the CDC, they will also send you a login ID and password, and you can access CDC Access at any time and check your funds and your shares. They will be there. So don't be worried if you don't find it on our system. They will be there at the CDC website. So keep that in mind. And also, once your account is open and you transfer your funds from your Roshan Digital account to CDC, keep in mind that the data is shared with us, and CDC withholds from the first transfer 5,000 rupees for settlement charges, for custody charges, for even broker's commission. So let's suppose that if you have transferred 100,000 rupees, on our system, only 95,000 will be available that you can invest to buy stocks. So keep that in mind as well, because people, when they go to our system and they see only 95,000, they say, oh, we transferred 100,000, where did the 5,000 go? So they haven't gone anywhere. They are with the CDC for these charges. Okay, and again, like I mentioned, that your funds and your shares will be in the custody of the Central Depository Company. So whenever you have to withdraw your funds and you would want them to be credited to your Roshan Digital account, CDC is the forum where you will go and request them to just say, okay, just transfer 50,000 rupees back to my Roshan Digital account, and CDC will do that. So these were the few things that I wanted to mention, because these are like many FAQs that I've been dealing with ever since the Roshan Digital account opened and people started investing in the stock market. Now, a little bit about our company, JS Global Capital. It is one of the largest brokerage firms in Pakistan, and we have a leading position in the domestic capital market. We offer equity brokerage. We also offer investment banking. We have a very, very experienced research department, which brings out daily reports on different companies that are listed. And we have a fixed income market as well, forex market and commodities. We have presence in many cities in Pakistan. We are in Karachi. Our head office is in Karachi. We have a branch in Hyderabad, Multan, Faisalabad, Lahore, Islamabad, and Peshawar. We have many foreign clients as well. We have a relationship with, as you can see, with JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Betsy, Citi, UBS, Goldman Sachs, and many other. Next. Okay, so this is, like I mentioned, that when your account is open with us, you get an email and you have this, different links as well. If you want to go and download our desktop trading application, there's the link right there. You can go to our website, jsglobalonline.com, and on the top, you can see download application. It's a Java-based application. So make sure that you have the latest Java installed. And on the right-hand side, you can see our trading application. As I mentioned earlier, we have a trading application for both Android and the iPhone. So you can go to the respective Play Stores or App Store, and you can, for Android, you can search JSGCL tick, and for Apple, it's JSGCL I tick, or of course, Python. Okay, this is the interface for our trading application, which is for the desktop version. You can see the screen right there. Next. And these are some screenshots of our trading application. Now, our trading application is very easy to use. Once you have downloaded it and installed it, the very first screen on your left appears, where you can see a search box on the top. So whichever stock that you want to watch, you can search for the symbol and add it to this watch list that is being shown right there. If you can see the top one, it says REG, regular market. That's the regular market. We have many markets, regular market. We have an odd lot market. We have futures market. Right now, of course, Roshan Digital account holders cannot invest in the futures market. It's only the regular market they can access at the moment. And over there, you can see on the right bottom hand corner, there's a small red arrow. So if you click or tap on that arrow, it will take you to the next window, which is the buy or sell window. Which is the second picture on your screen right now, where it says buy. So on the buy box, when you tap on the buy box, there's a drop-down menu, and the sell option also comes. And if you want to sell you can select the sell option, and then you can just put how many shares you want to buy or sell. That's the volume right there, the price that you want to buy or sell, your account number, and you'll be getting a PIN as well. You can generate your own PIN once you get the details in an email, and then you just simply tap on buy or sell, whichever execution you want to take this. Okay, as you can see on the bottom is the menu, home and watches, and this is the exposure where you can see your funds. And again, the next screen shows, so I can see the. Yeah, so it shows your open positions, shows which, if you want to buy or sell any stock and you have put a bid or an offer to buy or sell the stock, you can see that in the open position column. The lateral shows your existing shares which you've already bought. And the next, okay. So if you are trading and you're using an application, the trade log will show you the trades that have been executed today or any particular day that you are buying or selling. The consolidated ones show that if you had put, let's say, octopus to, for sell, and you had put two different, executions. So the consolidated shows you, let's say, if you have put 500 shares to sell twice, it will show you 1,000 in consolidated. And again, the outstanding log, if you have put some bid and not on the market price, but at a lower price, that will appear on the outstanding log. So this is pretty much it. And we are very active on our social media platforms. We have a product called Morning News, which, of course, I go live on Facebook before market opens, like about 15 minutes before the market open time. Let me just also inform you the timings. From Monday to Thursday, the market opens at 9:30 Pakistan time and closes at 3:30 in the afternoon. And on Friday, the market opens at 9:15. And there's a break for lunch and Jummah prayers at 12 noon, and the market reopens at 2:30 and closes at 4:30 on Fridays. So Morning News, we go live on Facebook because there's very little time to record and then put it on our social media platform. So we use the live facility on Facebook. So before the market opens, I go on live and I talk about the news that can, move the market in either direction, positive or negative. We also talk about some technical, technical reports as well. Then we have a YouTube channel as well. We are active on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and on Instagram. After the market closes, we record another small video called Market Wrap. I do that as well. So you can follow us. All our research reports are available on our social media platforms, so you can access that. We also have some research videos that we make on the reports that we do. So we are very active, and we realize the importance of social media and how to keep our investors informed so they can make the right decisions to invest in the stock market and, of course, have good returns. So I'll end here, and I think we should move to the Q&A session. And if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer those. Over to you, Raida.
Thank you, Shuja, for a detailed insight and procedures and workings of the Roshan Equity Account with JS Investments. I'm sure all the participants now have a hands-on, at least an insight and a detailed understanding of how they can invest and also repatriate their funds, repatriate their dividends, and any profits whatsoever that you would want to. Now, I have a few questions here. One thing before I move to the questions, very important, as Shuja also mentioned, that the brokerage houses give out daily reports, issue research reports on the industry. So it's very important for investors when building your portfolio that you go through all these research reports, understand what the plans of the respective companies are, and then make informed decisions that would help you to take even if you're going into a risky script, you would still understand how that company is going to work. It may be investing at this particular point in time and may not offer you a dividend, but there is an upper side in the longer run or in the medium term that would be coming with the way that company is investing in expanding or diversifying. So it is very important to keep in mind the research that is given out. Now we have some questions here. There's one question from Mr. Amar, which I would direct to UBL. It has been heard that RDA is unsecure as the new government may take actions against the RDA. Would you please elaborate on this, Asad?
I'll do that. So as far as RDA is concerned, and as far as this this impression is concerned, first things first, the reality is that a lot of uncertainty that actually happened, that was driven by the economy, but at the same time was basically on account of this tug of war between political parties, which sadly also is something that was taken as a matter of great interest and for promoting TRPs by the local media. And then, of course, all of this situation went down and trickled into social media platforms whereby there was this to and pro and against notions which happened post the certain situation that actually took about post April. All of this led to a lot of uncertainty. Yes, the economy is in a very challenging situation. But as I said, and before we went live, that the situation is not something that is out of control. The situation, as we understand, is something that can be rectified through concentrated efforts, which involved a lot of stakeholders. But this situation is not something that is out of control. What is required right now by the government is for macroeconomic changes that assist in bringing back much needed foreign currency reserves, foreign exchange into the foreign currency reserves of the country. So from that virtue, so from that angle, there is absolutely no indication by the current government. Rather, there has been a lot of applause by the current government of the previous governments and state banks' efforts on the Roshan digital account and how it has led to bringing in foreign exchange from abroad and getting it invested into the local economy, either through the Pakistan Stock Exchange or through Naya Pakistan certificates. So there is as such no indication, there is as such no talk, there is as such no absolutely signal given by the government that as of right now or in the future, there will be ever an instance whereby they will actually block the foreign currency, block the accounts under the Roshan digital account proposition, whereby a similar situation as had happened earlier in history that would take place. And similarly, there are also laws available now that basically restrict the government into taking such actions and basically freezing foreign currency accounts or deposit accounts. So there's a lot of work that has been done and is already being done. And what on the contrary is actually taking place is confidence building measures by the current government when they move abroad and when they go abroad and when they talk to people as well as governments abroad into the path that they are taking for recovery of the Pakistan economy. So except for a lot of as I said earlier, tug of war and a lot of grapevine that is actually happening on social media platforms, as well as endless debates that are actually happening on mainstream media, that is leading to increase of that uncertainty, that is leading to people adding to the fear of the people as far as the current economic situation is concerned. The government has absolutely given no indication or signal that ever there's going to come a situation whereby Roshan digital account and the reserves that are there, included therein, will ever be a target by blocking those accounts. And as far as even right now, the situation is concerned, the commitments that Pakistan is actually getting from its international allies are much, much more larger than basically what is held in the Roshan digital account. So there is absolutely no as such, what I can say is indication or no signal as such that could actually ever indicate that Roshan digital account is unsecure, as Mr. Amar actually asks. It is not unsecure. It is absolutely secure. I talk to customers every day in and out. They're still very confident. They're still very hopeful of the Pakistan economy. I was speaking to a customer of a very renowned cargo house that used to exist in Pakistan, and they have invested their life savings into Roshan digital account on the face of the fact that they want to actually give Pakistan something back in return, and they want to invest into Pakistan so that they can see the country grow. So there are people who are still very optimistic, and they're still very hopeful, and they still hold within themselves this feeling of patronage for the country, and they're still basically investing into the Roshan digital account. And I welcome everyone to follow their suit, to follow their example. There is absolutely nothing unsecured about.
Thank you, Asad. I will just add, you have nicely and comprehensively explained, and you rightly said the government needs these funds, and this government will also promote RTA, and it is well-structured account. It is not just that the government can affect these things, and I'm sure our new Prime Minister, new Finance Minister will support this. And it's all rumors, in my opinion. Thank you so much for a good statement.
Yes.
Great. Thank you, Asad, for settling the concerns quite amicably, I would say. Another thing that I would add was that in 1991, the government of Pakistan first time opened up the foreign investments option through SECRA. And since then, foreign investors are investing in Pakistan and also repatriating funds and in dollars quite seamlessly. So in fact, that particular incident that did happen was only at a local level and not have any impact on the international market or the international investors also. So that is one positive thing that I would like to add. Another question, Amar only has another question. He's asking if there is any WhatsApp group of the daily updates. I believe, Shujat, this is for you. If you could take this question, please.
Yes. See, what happens is whenever we open a Roshan digital account with us and we have a new client, that client is assigned to a trader. Now, he or she, they have their own WhatsApp groups, and what they do is they add the new client to their list, and of course, then they can join that. But like I said, it's better that you subscribe to our various social media platforms, subscribe to our Facebook page, to our YouTube channel, and you will automatically get those updates. So because what happens is when you are in a group, there are all sorts of information, some that is being shared by the others who may not be very experienced. So, like Ryder mentioned also, you have to make very informed decisions, especially if you are new investing in a stock market. You have to, talk to an experienced person and just not go on tips and make losses. So just a little warning. So there are WhatsApp groups, but as soon as you are assigned a trader, he or she will add to the add you to that group.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Shuja. One question that I also have for Pakistanis who are residing abroad, if once they've opened their accounts and they need some advice, I mean, while they're working through the app, is there any way that they can easily reach out to the brokerage house or a trader if they want to take any advice or vet any of their decisions? How does that work? Shuja.
Can you repeat right now?
Yeah, I'm actually saying that from the perspective of an investor who's opened up a Roshan Roshan Equity account with JS Banks, JS Investments. If they need advice, although they will be working through the app, they have a brokerage app, the JS brokerage app. But if they need any advice, how should they go about reaching out to a trader, or they want any reconfirmation of their decision? How should they reach out?
Okay, that's a very good question. Like I said, whenever we have a new account, a trader is assigned, and all the information, his or her phone number and email is shared with the trader. Now the trader gets in touch. Like, let me give you my example. Whenever I am assigned an account, I get in touch with that client through WhatsApp, and then we are connected, and I tell them about our social media platforms. And whenever I tell them they have any questions, they can reach out to me. If they want to invest in a stock, they have done their own research as well. They've gone through our reports as well, or some other reports. It's better that they ask us. So, I mean, I share my information, my contact information with the clients, and I'm very happy to tell them that whenever they are making a decision, they can make their own decision as well. But do share the decisions with me as well, so I can use my experience and guide them whether the stock that they want to buy is the right decision or not. So it depends on, again, like I said, different traders, they get in touch with the clients themselves, and then it's up to the client to keep contact with that trader for any queries that they have.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Shuja.
I have two questions for Mr. Asad, just for our overseas Pakistanis. Number one, Mohammad Asad Saab, I want to know, overseas Pakistani open accounts with you, and at the end, he lost the job or he left the job and he returned back to Pakistan. So what is the state of affair of his RD account?
All right. So effectively, sir, the RD account, by its very nature, can only be fed through remittances that are coming from abroad. So if an individual, say, for example, wants, if I say I'm living abroad and I send in remittances regularly and say I'm visiting Pakistan, and somebody returns back certain money that I had invested in a business over here, and I want to deposit that money into my RD account, that would not be possible. In RD account, the account needs to be fed only via remittances. So if an individual who is working abroad today and is sending in remittances and investing money across different investment platforms and options, once he comes back to Pakistan, he can still access his RD account. He can still continue to make investments via his RD account. The only element that would actually change is that he will not be able to feed locally funds into that RD account, because that is not permissible as per the regulations and structure approved by the State Bank of Pakistan. As far as money in his RD account is concerned, that will remain accessible to him. That can be invested, that can be grown as per the tools that are available. On year basis, what banks are required to do is update the customer's profile. This is as per international as well as local law. When that happens, the customer basically will disclose to the bank that he's no longer living abroad and he's no longer working abroad. In that instance, the bank advises the customer that you have a 30-day period. So you are requested that since you no longer are a non-resident Pakistani, until unless the customer says that I have a property abroad and I have declared that property in the local wealth statement of Pakistan, as far as FBR documentation is concerned, he can continue using that RD.
Okay.
If he hasn't done that, the bank will actually request the customer to open up another account and move his funds from his RD account into that local account, and the RD account will be closed over time. That is on account of the fact that he no longer is a non-resident Pakistani who is basically who are basically the primary target market for the product.
Thank you so much. I will add here. Okay, he has done 10 years, 15 years, and he built up investment in all your product and in the stock market and in the house.
Yes.
So he is getting the money in dollars, right? He has the investment in dollars. Of course, legality, he's no more a overseas Pakistani. But those transactions, as long as, is my opinion, as a council president, those, as long as he's using that fund, you should not stop his account because he's still using a foreign currency account. Because he is, his investment, through investment, he's promoting. Because he's bringing, that means everything will be shattered. His whole planning will be shattered. He has put in the stock market. He has put the money in the property. He has put in the money in any other asset. So let him allow him. Yes, you should not allow that he should deposit from Pakistan. He should not allow anything from Pakistan. He can play the thing in dollars only. Because this is a very big difference. Then why he will work with you? He will work with any other dollar account outside, and still he can maintain it wherever he lives. Whether he lives in Pakistan, I can open an account in Citibank, New York. I can open in dollar, and I stay with 30 years. I'm with that. So that is a weak point if you're saying like that, in my opinion.
So as far as the RD account regulations are concerned, basically the client target market that basically for which the product is structured is specifically for people who are living outside of Pakistan. So you're very correct. The bank, what the bank will not do. Let me elaborate on my response. So if a customer has made investments into stock market, he has actually made investments into the Naya Pakistan certificate. The bank will wait for those investments to actually mature. But at that point in time, on maturity, the bank will actually request him to actually update his, on the basis of the profile that he has updated, to actually move the matured funds and his returns and everything into a local account. Because he no longer is basically a non-resident Pakistan. So that is basically the only difference that the bank will facilitate the customer with.
I think you have to work on that point. I will work on that.
I can look into that. We can talk to State Bank also.
We can look. It's a very important point. And that will strengthen the situation. Number two is the dormancy of account. As long as we know that, supposing if you open the foreign currency account in Pakistan or any account in Pakistan, after 6 months, they make it dormant. And then we have to present ourselves physically to do the thumb impression, all. So the advantage they give that you open this thing and you don't need to go and appear on the dormant. But still, I see that the banks making the account dormant, surprisingly. Still, I can see why it is, because they announce it is not much dormancy of the account. But if it is still dormant, why it should be dormant? Because it's a situation. That's again another my question on behalf of Overseas Pakistani.
All right. So I'll answer on account of experience that I actually had specifically on this subject, due to which I was basically targeted towards the earlier part of this year, because there were a lot of complaints coming in from customer on this aspect. I'll elaborate a little for our audience exactly what dormancy is all about. Why do we mark accounts dormant? So dormancy is basically for the safety of the customer himself. It is not for the safety of the bank. Why? Because if the customer has not maintained or not used his account, let's use the word, excuse me, Atif, I'm in a webinar right now. So if he has not used his account for the period of 1 year, there is a possibility that maybe the customer's health or well-being is of the point that his account is inaccessible by him. Maybe he is no more, and the funds available in that account may be used through fraud or forgery by somebody who has access to banking instruments that the customer holds. So in that instance, for elongated period, the customer's funds are with the bank, in order to secure his financial interests, the bank marks the account as dormant. Now, I will now give you a response on the part 2. That is the customer asked to appear in person? No. All that the customer is required is to provide a certain amount of documentation. This documentation is basically emailed to the customer that you require updated proof of income, updated proof of identity documents, which are basically 5 or 6 documentation that the customer is required just to confirm that his identity and existence is as per the bank's record. And on that document submission and a mere recorded phone call that the bank actually undertakes with the customer, the account is marked active. In the yesteryears, in the old days, the customer was required to go to the embassy and prove his identity and his existence and his well-being and him being alive. That is proof of existence was required. But in the case of RDA, specifically in the case of UBL, what we did was we structured a process on the context that the customer's account activation process cannot be more complicated than the account opening process. That in the account opening process, that you're doing a whole digital thing and you're getting documents submitted online, and for dormancy activation, you're asking him to go to the embassy or a UBL branch and prove his existence. That is something that was not doable. So what we did was we designed a very seamless process that on the submission of a certain documentation, which is very simple, which is very 2 or 3 documentations are required, the customer's account is marked active again.
Thank you so much. Kindly tell the customer that please keep your account active. In case like this, you have to show at the time of opening your account or when you're giving the statement, so that customer can always keep a transaction doing so that it will not be dormant. Thank you. Back to
so what we have done is what I would add a little on the specific note of dormancy. What we are doing is that in the near future, we will be adding a feature on our mobile application.
Okay.
So when the account actually goes dormant, the customer will be able to activate his account using that feature from the mobile application rather than approaching his relationship manager and running through those documentation.
Okay, super. Thank you so much. Back to Madam Rada.
Excellent. Thank you. Very good questions, Kaisa Saab. I think that is out of experience that you asked all these questions, and very relevant for the investors and non-resident Pakistanis, because all these things are very of a serious concern for them, because they're living so far away, and it's it's very difficult to like when you're in Karachi or Lahore, Islamabad, you can just walk into any branch of UBL or any branch of JS Investments and talk to the person face to face. That facility obviously is not there, so people are very reluctant and they want to be extra careful and cautious when they're dealing from so far away. So very good. Thank you for both of you.
Madam Rada, I will add one thing. Sure. I have account in Doha, Qatar. Okay.
Right.
I have quite handsome amount there. I need to transfer money to London, and I have online in the bank. So when I went there to transfer, they can only transfer 25,000 Riyal only, or Qatari Riyal. I cannot transfer. I need the fund in London for payment of my property. I flew on Saturday there, went Sunday morning to the head office, taking a ticket, staying in the hotel, and say, I want to transfer this man to London. So he said, really? So, okay, then he put the document and everything and processed me. The document is still, they will take 2 days to transfer. So this is what the digital account will be benefit. I hope there is no limit on a transfer there. So
No, there is no limit. There is no limit as far as repatriation is concerned. So if you have, during this whole political process that has actually taken place, customers did become jittery and customers did take out their savings. And these savings were well into amounts of millions of US dollars. But while those customers were taking out millions of US dollars from their accounts, we were having other customers who were investing again millions of dollars into Roshan Digital account, which basically is evident from the growth graph of the product.
That's
exactly.
I spent 2 days for this to going and coming for one transaction of 5 minutes.
Wow, that's true. No, I'm glad to actually explain that Roshan Digital account, Roshan Equity account, and equity transactions are already always in larger amounts, especially when non-resident Pakistanis are converting and building their wealth in their country, especially people living in the GCC. They, since they have this close connection with their own home country, that is why they will build their wealth within Pakistan. So the transactions are definitely higher amount transactions. So that we're totally digital. That's Alhamdulillah, great feature.
Very proud of Stock Exchange and State Bank of Pakistan. I can do the closing. If you allow me, I can do the closing.
If I just may add one thing, Doctor, to the original query that Raida asked, just in case a client does not hear from any of the traders who've been assigned, they can send us an email at customercare@rails.com. And then that email goes to that trader and he or she will get in touch. One more thing is about the category of account which I mentioned earlier, conventional or Islamic, because like I mentioned earlier, that if you opt for an Islamic account, the system automatically will restrict the client and they cannot buy any shares that are not Sharia compliant. Also, they cannot do day trades. Islamic account will not allow day trades because you know that we have a T+2 settlement system at the Pakistan Stock Exchange, which means if you buy stock today on Monday, you will get those in your account on Wednesday. So if you have a Islamic account, you can only sell on Wednesday and you cannot sell on Monday or Tuesday. So clients opting for investment in the stock market and opting for the Islamic account, they should keep this in mind as well.
Thank you so much. Can we do the closing, Madam Raida?
Yes, sure.
Okay. I really thank all the speakers and especially the participants, and hope this webinar is knowledgeable and good for doing the transaction, especially Mr. Mohammad Asad Abdar Saab, who has a comprehensive presentation on how to open the account or digitally and cover the KYC and AML, which is very important part of the account. And especially all type of account can be opened, means check, saving, and that is 24 hours. This is credible. And especially Naya Pakistan certificate, real estate, and stock exchange transaction. But only thing I want to know lastly, what is the UBL fund management? We'd like to know what is there, so it must be better or investment like. And similarly, certainly this will attract more of opening accounts and investment because of this presentation, for which I'm very thankful. Coming to Mr. Mohammad Shuja Qureshi Saab, I appreciate his presentation that you can do on the mobile app and you can do everything in palm and transactions. But here, planning it, as he rightly said, one should plan before investment. And that is very, very important. Without planning, never jump in the stock market, and keep an eye on the shares, because it's all money in your hand. I appreciate for them, and I'm sure this will also attract more investment in capital markets. And lastly, I thank Madam Raida Saiba for conducting so beautifully and covering everything and question and answer. And my regards to all the Pakistan Stock Exchange team. Go ahead, Ms. And I will just inform you some of the important things which are happening here. Council is conducting a seminar on economic prospects and opportunity in Abu Dhabi with the Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce and Department of Economic Development on Thursday, October 6 at Abu Dhabi Chamber of Tower. You will be happy to know that the Department of Economic Development requested Pakistan Business Professional Council to do this event. And that's what we are organizing, where we are inviting all the Pakistani, plus all the 30 business council, plus the government, plus the ambassador and this. This we can send you the detail. And then we have another webinar coming with Roshan Digital Account with the State Bank of Pakistan, October 28. The purpose is to give more confidence to our 1 crore people of overseas Pakistani to continue there, and the policy is strong. Also, I would like to convey that the council working with Abu Dhabi Residence Office under the DED to have the golden visa. So our members will be getting golden visa on the certain criteria. So these are the few things which I want to share, and they can have a sector by offering permanent residency and to get a residency for 10 years or more. So that is what we are doing it here. And Pakistan has, lastly, I will request everyone who is listening, participate and on social media to this devastating flood that have destroyed millions of families in Pakistan. I would like to appeal to the overseas Pakistan to donate more and more. I know they have done it, but I would like to have more to donate for Roshan Digital Account through Roshan Samaji Khidmat to help and rebuild Pakistan. Thank you very much again. Thank you for everything.